Lots to get to on this Monday evening's edition of Weather for Weather Geeks. We don't have the biggest snowstorm in the world heading our way, but it will be impactful for Tuesday morning. Slower than average commute, and, well, since today is the first day of December, before we get to the snow details, let's recap briefly. November, it's in the record books as the coldest November in our area in 6 years. It's been since 2019 since we've had a November this cold. We finished the month with 4 straight cooler than average days. Now, checking in on the snow totals at the Youngstown Warren Airport. Of course, this is just one location. At the airport, it's been a pretty typical season so far with 6.4 inches, but some parts of our area have had almost double this amount, especially from the lake effect that we had around Thanksgiving time in western Trumbull County. Parts of Mercer County did pretty well in addition to western Trumbull, but other places so far this season, hardly a trace. And so your mileage definitely is varied, but everyone's going to pick up accumulating snow overnight tonight into tomorrow morning, and we're just getting started, of course, with a colder than average stretch that will encompass much of the month. Now, I think the magnitude of the cold will come and will waver a little bit, if you will. There may be a little bit of a respite from the harshest of the cold as we head towards mid-month, but today's 6 to 10 day and 8 to 14 day outlooks from the Climate Prediction Center show pretty good odds of a cooler than average stretch. And if you watched my annual winter forecast, that was on November the 11th, almost a month ago. I promised a cold start to meteorological fall, or meteorological winter, I should say, and our coldest December in at least 8 years, and I still think that's on track. I wouldn't change anything from this forecast map that we included as part of our winter forecast over 3 weeks ago. All right, if you follow me on social media, especially Facebook, of course, and you dared look at the comment sections over the last few days, as you know, I'll believe it when I see it people have been out. I have been deleting comments and banning people left and right. It has been quite something because, I think a lot of people had an expectation with the lake effect around Thanksgiving time that everywhere across the area there was going to be a whole bunch of snow. And then there was some disappointment when there wasn't much in some locations. And then, Saturday night, that was a little bit of a forecast bust. A minor one, because we called for a coating to an inch or two of snow. Temperatures just stayed a little bit too elevated. It ended up being just rain showers pretty much. But, so we didn't get a coating worth of snow, which a forecast of a coating to an inch or two is, one of the possibilities in a range like that is a coating, and we didn't see a coating. And some people were pretty upset by that, and therefore not believing that the snow is coming tonight into tomorrow morning. Now, if you're watching this video, chances are you're a little more weather savvy and a little less skeptical than that. The snow is coming, folks. No doubt about that. In fact, every county in the state of Ohio, all 88 counties under a winter weather advisory, and just about all of Pennsylvania also under a winter weather advisory. Only a few counties near the Philadelphia metro area not included in the winter weather advisory in the state of Pennsylvania. Recording this video in the 7 o'clock hour, and of course things are quiet locally. The leading edge of this snow, a lot of this is not quite reaching the ground just yet, east of I-75 in Ohio, but from about I-75 on west. I-70 has been no fun from Dayton all the way to St. Louis today, and the snow will continue pushing eastward. The atmospheric column will continue moistening up, and the snow will start reaching the ground in more and more places. So the timing. I think in most of our television viewing area, it's going to start snowing around and after midnight. Now, it may take a while longer in our southern viewing area. This isn't lake effect, but that being said, the initial tongue of moisture may be more aimed at our northern communities. That being said, it's going to start snowing everywhere at some point. So by about 3 or 4, it should be snowing in our entire viewing area. It's going to snow at a pretty good clip for a few hours between, say, 4 a.m., 7 a.m., maybe 8 a.m., and then between 8 and 10, I think the snow will taper off and end, even though there could be some residual flurries for the rest of the day on Tuesday. So it's always nice when our computer modeling is in pretty good agreement. This is, in the grand scheme of things, not one of the more difficult snow forecasts because we don't have any concerns with any mixing. There's not going to be a warm tongue that threatens to change things over to sleet. There's not going to be a sharp cutoff somewhere in our viewing area between snow and no snow. Everyone's kind of in the same boat. Makes for, a less challenging snow forecast when you see our computer modeling all huddled around the same idea, around 3 inches. Now, of course, there can be some wiggle room on either side of that. I think a lot of us are going to end up with 3.5, maybe 4 inches worth of snow. At this point, I think an inch or two is pretty much in the bag area-wide. if you can watch us on TV, even if you're in some of our adjacent counties, technically outside of our viewing area, whether it be Carroll County, Ohio, Stark County, Ohio, Portage County, Ohio, or over in Pennsylvania, Crawford County, Venango County, Beaver County, kind of those counties, and then to our south, Jefferson County, Hancock County, a lot of those counties, everyone's going to see about the same thing as in our true television viewing area. Inch or two is in the bag. A lot of us are going to see 3, 3.5. Once you get above 4, that becomes a little bit more of a stretch, but could someone get 4 or so? Yeah, that's going to be a possibility. I think the snowfall rates will be pretty impressive for a few hours, probably peaking in this window right here. And this, of course, means big trouble for our morning commute. Well, we're not talking about a foot of snow. When you have snowfall rates of 1/2 inch to 3/4 of an inch per hour, that's a heavy enough rate that the road crews are, they're going to struggle to keep up with this for a time. And so I would expect a lot of problems on area roads as Tuesday gets underway. Notice the snow accumulations by hour really slow to a trickle as we head towards mid-morning. That's when our steady snow should be pushing away and ending. We're not in the lollipop when it comes to total snow, that is for sure. I think the maximum amount of snow we found in inland New England, away from the coast, parts of Maine, New Hampshire, Vermont, Massachusetts, around the Hudson Valley in New York, Albany will do pretty well, down to the Poconos in northeastern PA. There's going to be 6+ amounts, pretty common in a lot of those locations, maybe even a foot or so in some of the hillier terrain up in New England. But you can see that the forecast is generally pretty similar in a lot of eastern Ohio and a lot of western Pennsylvania outside of the mountainous areas south and east of Pittsburgh. A lot of places are going to get 3 or so inches worth of snow. So the steady snow pushes away mid-morning. Now, beyond that, there's going to be some flurries in the air. Let me back up our modeling to mid-afternoon here. There's going to be, it's not a true lake effect, setup per se, but there'll be a little lake enhancement, if you will, with some flurries sinking off to the south. Now, could some of this still cause some fresh coatings and things like that? That's going to be possible. It won't be as high impact as the snow earlier on in the day, though. This will be much more scattered in nature and overall on the lighter side. Those flurries will fade away then Tuesday night. We're left in between systems on Wednesday, just kind of a ho-hum, mostly cloudy day. Now, this next cold front means some business. It's not going to produce all the snow in the world, but it will produce a heck of a cold shot. I think there will be some snow showers Wednesday night into Thursday morning, and well, we're going to wait to get this next system out of the way before we talk about accumulations with this. Could there be some light accumulations? Yeah, that's going to be possible, but I think the bigger story, the bigger impacts will actually be from the cold. Temperatures will drop from the upper 20s, probably down through the teens, and maybe all the way to the single digits by Friday morning. Here's one model depiction of our temperatures. Let me actually fast forward to Friday morning here. This shows, single digits might be a stretch, but we've got 9 in our forecast for Friday morning. By the way, that is the record low at the Youngstown Ward Airport for Friday morning, 9 degrees. I think we're going to give that record a run for its money. So again, bottom line for tonight's video, enough snow to shovel and plow and be disruptive for Tuesday morning. Keep your expectations in check. No one's seeing 8 or 9 inches out of this, but 3 or 4, that's going to do its thing at a bad time of the day. So plan accordingly if you have to be out and about, if you have to head to work Tuesday morning, if you've got a doctor's appointment or something like that Tuesday morning. Just plan on allowing plenty of extra time. We'll have you covered tonight on 21 News at 11 on all my social media outlets as well. And be sure and share this video if you have found it useful and informative, and you know someone who might find it equally useful and informative, someone maybe who doesn't usually check out Weather for Weather Geeks. Share this with them. Help us spread the word. In the meantime, stay safe out there Tuesday morning and have a great rest of your Monday night.